1, 2, 3, 4. Palapalooza, Palapalooza. We're talking to you. I'm Palapalooza. Words. Ladies and gentlemen, coming at you from the comfort of his driver's seat in his Ford Escape, Andrew Rowley.
Yeah, dude. It's I'm on a nice, quiet cul-de-sac here in Normal Heights. I just had to kind of get out of the house. The dogs are just way too loud.
That's extremely considerate of you, man. You have a experience with audio, obviously, so you know how distracting that can be.
Yeah, for sure. And I know podcast is, very audio heavy, so you want it to be as good as possible. So, I got my little makeshift studio in here, and I'm sure it will sound great.
You sent me a couple pictures. You have a microphone duct taped to your steering wheel?
To my steering wheel, yeah. I have these kind of break apart mics where you can kind of hide them for video stuff. And I just kind of stuck it on the steering wheel. And then I have my little H6 Zoom recorder off to the side. And, I got my headphones on talking to you. So, I think this will work out.
It'll work. Right on, man. It's amazing what we can do in 2020. Welcome to Palapalooza. Thanks a lot for your time, man. You're recently engaged. We'll start with that. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. I've been with my fiance for 5 years now. And at the beginning of lockdown quarantine, I'm like, well, I guess this is it. So might as well pop the question. And and she said yes, of course. And we are getting married in June of 2021. And hopefully, things are settled down and somewhat back to normal by then. But it'll be a fun time for sure. We're planning the wedding now.
Awesome, dude. Congrats. I'm very familiar with the wedding industry. I DJ, which I think you know. I DJ a lot of weddings and stuff. Not too many this year, but
yeah, I'm sure.
Have you run into issues at all with booking or anything like that? What venue are you guys planning?
Not really. We're at the Loose on Kettner now. So I don't know if you're familiar with Loose on the Loose Loft by Petco Park. And so now this is their new venue over more in Little Italy area. And I think I know enough friends that do wedding stuff as well. So they're kind of like some vendors I already kind of know and work with. So awesome. And homies, of course. So everyone's kind of making themselves available. And it's not nothing super certain for sure, but everyone's penciling us in for next year. So I feel pretty confident we'll be able to have the wedding we want for sure.
Absolutely. I think you'll be good personally. You got engaged very close to our mutual friend, Scott Sikla and Elena.
Yeah. Actually, I think it was on the same exact day.
Was it?
Unplanned, yeah, because with social media, of course we posted about it, and then he posted the same day, and I hit him up and I was like, "What? Did you congrats, dude! Did you do it on the same day?" And we actually both were on the local news. I was on CBS. I think he was on Channel 7 News, and because there was not much good news going on in the world at that time, and so we both got hit up by local producers, and they did a little segments about us, and getting engaged in the pandemic, I guess, is a hot topic these days. So it was cool. It was cool to see both of us kind of take those big steps together.
Yeah.
Unintentionally.
Yeah, that was very coincidental, and you really did get out there. I saw his news story and everything. So congrats again, man. I thought we'd touch on that right up top. You are the co-host of 91X's local music show, Loudspeaker, with Tim Piles and Lou Niles, heard on 91X every Sunday night, 7 to 10.
You're listening to Tim Piles on the radio.
How long have you co-hosted that?
I've been co-hosting now, I think, coming up on 6 years.
Wow.
And then I used to host the show by myself.
I remember that.
Kind of my first kind of real break into radio back in 2007 through 2011. And that was kind of my first real radio gig. Definitely a lot younger back then, a lot more active in the local scene, going out to shows almost every night, sometimes multiple shows a night. Obviously not going any shows now, but then they brought me back, I think in 2014 or so, and to co-host with Tim and Lou. And it's been great. It's fun to be still a part of the station, still have a voice in the local scene. That the cool thing about the show, having multiple hosts, and we're we're older. I mean, I'm the younger one compared to the other guys, so we're a little generational, where there's like the whole span of local music, everything from like the classics that like really established the scene, everything to like the brand new stuff that all the young kids are cranking out now too. So it's a wide array of music and knowledge and stories from just all of our experiences together, and it makes for a really cool show.
Absolutely, man. I remember being in studio with you. I want to say it was probably 07, 08 with my band Bankers Hill. So I'm glad you brought that up. I think Tim Piles was over at 94.9 maybe at that time.
Yeah, when I started the show, he was definitely like leading the charge over at 94.9, doing the local 94.9, and I looked up to Tim because I was like just starting out. I was like this new kid on the block. I definitely knew some cool local bands, and I started making friends with everyone really quick. But he was already like off and running. He's been doing it for 10 years. He had 10 years on me pretty much at that point, and so he was like, I was trying to get to that level of like where everybody wanted to be on Tim Piles' show, right. And I was like this new guy. But luckily, I was working at 91X, so it's not a hard sell to get people to send me their music and to come into the studio and all that stuff.
Sure. So that was your first radio station here in San Diego, huh?
Yeah, I'm born and raised San Diego, and so coming up, I went to junior college at Palomar, and they have a great college station, KKSM. So that's really where I kind of cut my teeth in radio, and you're learning, you're messing up on air. Right. I had a real show, and so you're just like you're just kind of learning the ropes and just figuring out what works, and how you kind of have to kind of literally find your voice and all that, and then I transferred to San Diego State. And then I started a show at KCR, their radio station there as well. And right about that same time, I was already working at 91X, and I was already trying to get on air. And then soon after transferring to San Diego State, I got my shift at 91X. So there was a point where I was actually doing 4 nights a week plus Loudspeaker on 91X and my college show at KCR too, which was pretty cool. Kind of like doing the big radio station, and then doing the college show all within the same week.
That's totally cool. With 91X, did you start in promotions?
Yeah, that's kind of where you start out when you get into radio. That's kind of a good entry point for a lot of people, and from there you kind of see what else you like to do, whether it's sales or programming or production, or if you want to stay in promotions. So I enjoyed promotions. I liked being out at the events and working with people and meeting people, but the ultimate goal was to be on the radio. I felt like, growing up in San Diego, here in the 91X DJs, like I thought they were just the coolest, and they were. I met them, and they were great people. And I was striving for that. I thought it was just the coolest job, and it was, and it is. And so, that was the goal, and it took some hard work and some time, but I eventually got Loudspeaker, and then they started throwing me on like overnights and weekends. And yeah, at one point I was on air like almost 7 days a week, which was super cool. Wow. Yeah, I was so pumped.
Good for you, man, for really accomplishing that goal. We just need to get Tim Piles out of the equation so you can be the main host.
I love Tim. I like the situation now. I can kind of come and go as I please. Sure. I run my own video production company, so it's I got a lot of stuff going on with that too. But it's nice to have my toe in the door still at 91X and contribute on Loudspeaker, and it's just a great family to be a part of. Yeah,
we'll get to Rowlbertos Media here shortly. We'll talk a little bit about that, dude. But what is it that you're doing exactly? We've been in studio obviously with Loudspeaker, and are you curating the playlists? What is the majority of your time spent with that show?
Yeah, so, I'm still very dialed in with a lot of bands I know, and, people still send me music. So usually I'll come to the show with a couple new songs. But the thing is, everyone sends the same stuff to, Piles and Lou as well. So it's we all kind of have the same new music that comes out. But it's more we kind of have our favorites. We kind of lean towards certain genres and stuff in certain regions of town. So, it's always a little different. And so, I'll come in with a handful of songs hey, I want to play these. Or if this band has something going on, they're streaming a show or they're doing a real show somewhere now. It's kind of just what's topical, what's happening in town. So I'll have a few songs, and then Tim kind of starts the show. He kind of gets just some just good jams going, and then he'll start to ask us what songs we want to play, and we kind of build around that. Obviously, if we have any hosts or guests, we'll play some of their music, and it's request based. People still call in and request. So it's very fluid as far as how how the show is actually produced night of. Like when we go in, the 3 hours are completely wiped and there's nothing programmed. So we just kind of pluck and drop songs like as we're going. Wow. So, and we're just in there in the room. It's like we're three super nerdy local music guys and we're just like, hey, how about that? How about that? Yeah, how about that? You know, and then we just, that's kind of how we build out the show.
Totally. It's always good vibes in there. And Loudspeaker is the local music show for San Diego. There's, not to hate on other stations, but you guys really do support like no other. You mentioned your different tastes. What genre are you into? What is your go-to genre?
I mean, I kind of all over the place. I mean, like when I started out, like I was definitely leaning more like punk rock, that's why I was like attracted to your band back in the day. Cool. I grew up going like Soma. So like, kind of the hardcore scene, the pop punk, emo, screamo stuff. I kind of still have a soft spot in my heart for that type of music, but I'm literally all over the place. I love everything like the Redwoods, that whole group are doing, bands like Little Hurricane and like the Young Wild, some bands I've just been with from the ground level, like supporting when they've started. So I just kind of always support bands like that. I know I'm just kind of all over the place right now. And there's this band called Porto that I'm super into, and it's just kind of like chill surf rock type music. And I mean, my musical taste kind of spans a lot.
Yeah, sure. How has COVID affected Loudspeaker? I mean, I personally have seen it, but for our listeners, things have changed in that studio a bit, and there's a little more video broadcasting involved. Do you want to talk about that a bit?
Yeah, so, I do video production for a living, and I do like live streaming productions as well. So once like lockdown, like the real heavy lockdown happened around March, April, May, we kind of had to figure out something because at the radio station, they weren't letting anyone at the station, like none of the actual staff, like all the sales people and promotions people, only like the DJs were going in one at a time, like just one host to do their shifts. They had to like sterilize and clean the studio. And so it was we just let like Piles do the show. Right. I think for like a couple weeks, I think maybe just 2 weeks, he did it like just by himself. Me and Lou were just not there. Right. And then I figured out a way to kind of get he set up a camera in there. I had my camera at home. Lou set up a camera. We just basically did a Zoom call, and I just pushed that out to Facebook. And so we had like, our 3 cameras at each of our houses, and the audio is getting piped through the studio so we can actually be on air with Tim, but we're doing it remotely. And so we did that for, I don't know, maybe almost 2 months. It was pretty cool. It was fun to kind of do the show from my house and the comforts of my office. Right. and Tim was in the studio, obviously, and it was kind of the same way though. We're just still picking songs, just kind of what's happening, any new music at the time. And it was hard though, because the show is so based on what's going on in town. Like, we just basically look at a concert calendar like, okay, well, this is basically our show. We're going to just promote all these bands that have shows this week. Right. And all of a sudden 0 shows. So we just kind of were just picking songs at random almost. Yeah. And that's kind of still how the show is kind of programmed, like I mentioned earlier. But eventually, things started to lighten up a little bit, and we were allowed, Lou and I, to go into the studio. It's spread out in there. We're not like on top of each other. It's we can kind of keep our distance, and it's protocol for the station. You have to wear your mask when you're walking around. There's plenty of sanitizer everywhere, so it's all very safe, of course. Cool. But now we're in the studio with Tim, and it's kind of like back to normal. Just the city is not back to normal yet, so programming is kind of still just kind of random, whatever we're feeling. Sure.
You were involved with Seaport Sessions too, which was cool. I would assume that was a lot on you, right? With your background?
Yeah. I mean, I know Roy Troiano, he works for Seaport Village, and we've worked together on other projects. So I was kind of his first call when all this kind of went down, as far as how can we stream these performances. And we actually did like one real stream, like I was there in person with the band. It was literally the night of like, I think it was March 19th, where they was like, this is a lockdown, like shelter in place. Right, like literally scary. as we rapped, it was with Dirty Sweet and Low Volts.
I watched that.
Was so after that, and that was kind of like, oh man, like I don't even know, like we're just kind of slapping this together. So it was, I don't know if it's the most awesome stream ever, but I think it worked.
Yeah, it worked
then,
out. There was some weirdness involved, but it worked out.
Yeah. And then so moving forward, now we had to figure out how bands can do this from home. So basically, bands were recording themselves at home, like little sessions, and then sending me the assets, and then I would put them together, and then we would push this out as like a live event hosted by Tim Piles and myself and a few others around town. Vinyl Junkies, Tim Mays from the Casbah was involved, and so it was kind of like a Zoom call, chat, hang, and then we pushed out these like performances with the artists. So we did that a few times through the summer, and now I think they're just having bands play at Seaport Village, like on some of their buildings, so people kind of walking by and stuff can enjoy it. But
oh, wow.
yeah, it was a good experiment. I think we did a decent job. We got some cool artists. We had the lead singer from Not a Surf do one, which was pretty cool, and then just a bunch of cool local bands as well. So it worked out. I think we're all just experimenting and just trying new things in this weird time.
Sure. Yeah, that's perfectly said. And I thought it was kind of cool how you let the creativity up to the musician. They could get as involved and complex with their own video as they wanted to.
For sure, yeah. I remember like the Schizophonics, they basically just like, they did a whole show in their living room or something.
Yeah.
And of course, if you've seen them live, they go absolutely nuts. And Pat Beers and Letty, they went crazy, and it looked cool. It was super fun, and I had some fun with the edit as well. And so it was made for a good experience, and I think people enjoyed. It was some normalcy where people can enjoy one of their favorite local bands at home, kicking back, drinking a beer or whatever, and just kind of have a little bit of normalcy for a moment. Yeah,
normalcy is good this year. It's been a year of adapting and learning. When is this all going to end, Andrew? You've got the inside scoop, bro. What are your thoughts? I mean, when is Casbah going to have 100 people?
I think it is going to have to be like in phases where, capacity there is like, I think just under 300 people, and that's pushing it too. So yeah, it might be like, hey, we can do 50 people here. We can do 100 people here. Now we can do 150. I think maybe hopefully by summer next year,
sure.
They can start to like, I think it's just hard for venues like that because they're so small, like the Soda Bar and Casbah, where it doesn't really allow for an outdoor situation. It's everyone's just on top of each other and sweaty and breathing all over each other. So I'm thinking about it now. I was like, oh, shows are gross. Like, right. What have I been thinking? But no, I think eventually, within the next year or two, it'd be. I'm no scientist or anything, but I think being optimistic, I think we'll be back to normal in the next year. So,
I thought you'd have a concrete answer, man. I thought you would have the vaccine, bro.
No, dude. No, I'm all out. I don't got it. No.
That seems to be the consensus. Maybe summer. Who knows? But it has been interesting. I don't think there's a reason why local bands can't be active right now with streams and writing and recording even,
Sure. Record, make, create content, make music videos. I just shot a music video this past weekend. I got another one coming up. It's like, you got to do something. And so it's like, yeah, you can't really do shows, but I think there's going to be more like outdoor show opportunities coming soon, they're at the Del Mar racetrack, they're doing outdoor concerts. Down at Petco Park, they're starting to do some outdoor concerts. They're for more bigger national touring acts, but I think there's going to be some opportunities where some of the local parks might be putting up some stages and, kind of doing that more. San Diego is the perfect city for that. Unfortunately, like people on the Midwest and East Coast, that's not going to happen because they're about to get hit by a bunch of snow, I'm sure.
Right.
But San Diego, we can have people playing music outside all the time, so
yeah,
I think outdoor concerts might become a thing, more of a thing now.
Have you been to any drive-through shows? I went to the Switchfoot one. It was cool.
Oh, nice. Yeah. To be personally, to tell you the truth, yeah, no, I haven't, and I don't. There's not much of an appeal for me with that, I guess. Being anchored to your car while a band's rocking out 100 yards away, I'm like, I don't know. I think I'll just kind of sit back and just, wait for something a little bit more authentic, I guess.
It's really cool, man. You drive your car into other vehicles as the mosh pit,
Yeah.
It was more for me, for sure. It's not nearly as good, but sort of a nostalgic experience because I figured it wouldn't be around for long, but, come to find out, it really has lasted for a few months.
Yeah, I mean, 91X is a part of this concert series in Del Mar, and I think they had Slightly Stupid. They have the Dirty Heads. I think coming up they got Fits in the Tantrum. So yeah, I mean, there's something there. People are enjoying it. It's just again, it's inching back towards normalcy as best we can.
Yeah, absolutely. Any horror stories of musicians in studio? I imagine they come in drunk. Often.
There's a guy named Troy Cook that came in about 10 years ago.
That's true. No, a few years ago with the Michael Myers mask on. Yeah, he's a weirdo.
Oh, God. Yeah, I mean, I won't name names, but yeah, I guess it's when, bands, I guess maybe it's nerves or it's just the weekend. It's, they come in drinking some beers and I'm like, I always kind of like, hey, we can't really have beers in the studio, but hey, they're there and they show up with beers. I'm like, okay, we'll let that slide. I'm like, all right, guys, let's not have no bad words on the air. And then, F-bombs and S-bombs start rolling out. I'm like, God dang it, guys, like we're on the radio. And then I was a little more strict about it where basically if you cussed on air, that was your last time on my show. And, I didn't really say that to him, but I just, that was your one time and you messed up and that's it. And, but Tim Pyle's a little more forgiving these days. So, people still, literally just told you 30 seconds ago to don't say any of those words. And then they let them slide. But, it's not like we're getting in like trouble by, the FCC or anything. It's just in good taste, in my opinion. But,
sure.
Yeah, I guess just when people have loose lips on air.
Right.
That's my kind of pet peeve. But no other, beyond that, everyone's, pretty cool. There's never been like anything crazier beyond that.
Right. Do you have the 7-second delay?
We usually just save that for the morning show stuff, because it literally when you have to set it, you have to reset it every time you use it.
Yep.
And it slows down the station. It literally slows down music and commercials enough to build up that 7 seconds.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I never use it for loudspeaker. It's just kind of our rule of like, just save it for the morning show because that's probably when the more people are listening. Yeah. And so it's kind of saved for that. But yeah, I've never used the dump button as we call it.
Right.
Yeah. So it is there. It exists. I don't even know if the morning show even uses it, but it's there.
Man, so you are really live on Loudspeaker.
Very live.
Very live.
Very
so
live.
Watch your mouth, kids.
Watch your freaking mouth. Yes.
Freaking mouth. What do you follow ratings with Loudspeaker? Is that something you're into?
No, I mean ratings are so kind of obsolete, I think, or
are
just
they
kind of just arbitrary numbers. It is like especially for radio these days. It's I'm sure people care, like salespeople, and our program directors, obviously care about that. But there's so many weird ways they get that data, and I just don't feel like it's very accurate. So I'm just like, I always kind of think of it as I'm on air, I'm talking through a microphone, and I'm on some random radio at a taco shop somewhere, blaring in the kitchen or in some mechanic shop, like, they just always have 91X tuned on. And so it's like, I just kind of figure we're just kind of out there and just floating in the ether for 3 hours. People driving around, truck drivers. I don't know. Yeah, I kind of try to put myself in the listener's environment, the listener's shoes a little bit, kind of like, I bet someone just has this on in their garage right now working on their car on a Sunday night, and they're just listening to some crazy cool local music.
Right. I love it. I listen often. Tim Pyles, we got to shout him out, and Lou Niles, and you, of course. But Tim's such a legend here in San Diego. He's been around for a while and a great host and a good dude. I've had him over. He was a part of the music video here over at my house, and I had him under the Palapa, pre-COVID. We loved him. We loved him.
Yeah. Tim's a great guy. He's actually officiating my wedding
he is.
next year. Yeah, so I know he's done a few of those weddings, like a few friends and stuff. So, and he's like, I've known him forever, and like he's been a great friend. Like even when Ren and I started dating, he's always been around. We've spent so many like Coachellas together and stuff. So he's just very much part of the fabric of Ren and I's story. My fiance Ren, and so it just kind of made sense to have Tim involved. Like he would have been invited anyway. So I was like, well, I'm gonna put you to work, So it'll be really fun to have Tim officiate our wedding.
That'll be great.
Yeah.
Is he gonna are you gonna walk down the aisle to the loudspeaker theme?
Yeah, the Mojo Nixon loudspeaker theme. Yeah, I think I'll win that argument for sure.
Loudspeaker, 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 Loudspeaker.
Let's segue into Rowlbertos Media. You're the editor and co-founder of your own media company. You have a vlog on YouTube. You can just search out Rowlbertos Media on YouTube. Talk about what you have going on there. I think you do some photography for 91X as well, right?
Yeah, the whole Rowlbertos, like doing video stuff kind of came from my experience at 91X, because like back in the day when I started in 2006 as promotions, we had bands coming through all the time, and I've always had a fascination with video. I've always made like little surf videos and skate videos through high school with my friends. Yeah. And so once, 91X, I was there, there was a camera in the promotions area, and I just picked it up and started filming all the acoustic performances and the interviews and all the events that we had going on. And there was a new website called YouTube back in the day, and I just started like uploading the videos to YouTube and created our channel, and that just kind of started becoming part of my job. So when I was full time there, it was like promotions, programming, and video production. And so I just kept doing that, and eventually I got better and got more creative. And then another company in town, Slacker Radio, they basically recruited me and took me from 91X, which was fine because I was kind of at the time kind of ready to leave 91X, kind of needed something a little bigger and a little different, obviously more pay. That was a big factor. Yeah. And so I started working at Slacker Radio, and a bunch of guys actually that worked at Slacker Radio were from 91X and from like more traditional radio here in town too. So it just kind of went from terrestrial radio to the digital radio format. And this is like, Slacker was kind of a big player, kind of like with Pandora, and it was before Spotify, so Spotify wasn't around yet. And so my job at Slacker I basically was boots on the ground at every major music festival in the country. So for 3 years, I was just traveling the country, hitting up every music festival and creating festival recap videos, shooting interviews with artists, just collecting as much content as possible, and for the Slacker YouTube channel and for all their digital players and all that. So because it was a music app where you can listen to music, but within those apps you can watch videos and studio performances and all sorts of stuff. So that was like the craziest, coolest job I had out of college. After 91X is working at Slacker. And within that's where I met my partner, Rob, and we were roommates, and he was doing video as well. He was doing freelance stuff, a little more corporate type stuff. And so, I was doing Slacker, he was doing his stuff, and then we just kind of combined forces and created Rowlbertos Media, which is my name, Rowley, and then his name's Roberto. So we just kind of smashed our names together, Rowlbertos, and it sounds like a taco shop. So we're like, hey, let's kind of go with this kind of taco shop aesthetic. Yeah. So our tagline is Lights, Camera, Taco. We have a taco in our logo. I actually have it tattooed on my arm. And so, and it's good. It's like a talking point. We kind of stand out amongst the crowd here in San Diego as far as other video production companies. And we just kind of got started doing events and a lot of music-based projects. One of our kind of flagship project is called a Red Trolley Show. So we got bands to play on the trolley. So we did that for like 8 years, which was super cool. And that's kind of got our name out there. And then, the projects just started getting bigger and bigger, and the budgets got bigger and bigger. And eventually, now that's all I do is just Rowlbertos Media with Rob, and we have a good little crew. We have a few employees. We actually just moved out of our studio, COVID related. It was just, the times are weird. The main guy at the studio left, and we kind of had to go with them. So we're looking for a new studio next year, but we're still as busy as ever. We do like TV campaigns. We did TV commercials for San Diego State. We work at Taylor Guitars a lot. We work with a lot of restaurants here in town, a lot of breweries, so and a lot of other like corporate stuff. That's Ace Fitness, GoFundMe is some of our bigger corporate clients. So it's kind of a hodgepodge of stuff because we do music videos still, we do photography, studio product photography, broadcast commercials. I'm editing a commercial right now for Coronado Brewing, and so we're just kind of all over the place as far as the type of content we make. And we're not just like pigeonholed to like one style or one type of video. It's just kind of anything and everything, actually.
Paying the bills, I would imagine.
Paying the freaking bills, obviously with COVID, it was a little tough mid-year, but around June, July, things started really picking up again, and it's like, we're at a point where we've been doing this for 10 years where like we only kind of deal with like real like clients that have are ready to really play ball, like real budgets, like real concepts, real goals, and not just we kind of grew out of kind of the small low-hanging fruit that we've kind of got started with, but now we're kind of eye on the prize on like bigger agency type stuff, bigger agency type projects.
Right. corporate's a good spot to be, I would assume, right?
Yeah, for sure. Corporate stuff, but also still like keeping in touch with like obviously like the local restaurants and local businesses. We still do a lot of that stuff too, but kind of the real good, big money is in that corporate world still.
Would it make you feel much better if it were you against the world? If you were an alien? If it were conspiracy.
You mentioned a Red Trolley show. I have it up here on YouTube. Is that no longer a thing, man? That was very cool. I mean, Less Than Jake, Modest Yahoo, Anne Berlin, Joey Cape. You guys had a lot of big names. Basically, live acoustic music on the trolley.
Yeah, no, we did that. It was great. I mean, I loved it. It was kind of just my excuse to meet cool artists that I like and and kind of get them like in my bubble for, an afternoon to shoot some cool stuff with. So, yeah, I mean, you mentioned those artists. I'm like, geez, we got some pretty cool artists. And,
I know.
Like Joey Cape is like an icon to me. So like, I was just so pumped when we got him. And, but yeah, we kind of slowed down, I think around 2018, 2019. And, we were actually looking for a major sponsor, and so I kind of had to slow up shop because we had to focus on other things for that time. And I was like, I need to get a sponsor, and then COVID hit,
right.
And so we kind of slowed down, and then obviously the world shut down, and so it's on a hiatus, I would say, right now. And I think it'd be a hard sell to get bands to get on public transit right now too. So we'll just let that chill out for a while. I don't want to completely close the door on it because it is cool. It's all the videos are still online on YouTube and stuff. So I mean, yeah, they get tons and tons of views too. So and I still are fairly active like in the community on YouTube as far as answering questions and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm always kind of still looking to do something new and different too. Kind of in that same vein, but maybe not on public transit, maybe do more of a studio environment or something, because I have the equipment to film and record, and I have my connections with artists, and I want to do something, because that's my passion, is doing video with music, because I'm not a musician, but I love to be a part of that scene, that world, and I feel like I can contribute with video and photography.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. Yeah, I know Tim was doing, was it Piles sessions or 91X's sessions there for a little bit?
Yeah, Piles sessions. And he like teams up with like Sulo King at his old studio spot. And yeah, he was like doing like all the recording and video sessions over there too. So yeah, all those are on Piles, on Tim's like YouTube channel as well. Those are pretty cool.
Yeah, check out a Red Trolley show. It's really cool, man. I urge you to continue that once COVID's done. That's kind of what I was thinking for Palapalooza. Have bands over to my Palapa and have them jam. It hasn't really been video based, more audio based, but it is fun. I'm with you. It's fun to support our local music scene, and there's so much talent here, which I know you would agree. Are there bands that stick out here in the local music scene? Like, throw out your top 3, not to pick favorites, but
I know, like, lately, I guess, like, I'm really into the new Trouble in the Wind record.
Somebody stop this ride. We wanna get off and get right. Somebody stop this ride.
They recorded with John Reese, he produced it, of Rocket from the Crypt and Hot Snakes, and Ben Moore, who's recorded like all those Drive Like Jehu records, Hot Snakes records. So it's a good heavy sound, and it's still kind of in the same vein as like Trouble in the Wind's, that what they're known for, kind of folky, kind of outlaw country a little bit. But it's just a solid record. The new Porto record that I mentioned earlier, that comes from Dan Cervantes' record label.
I can hear my crippled mind. I know I will only do dreams.
Yeah, it's just a cool kind of vibey, chill, beachy, surf rock record. And I always kind of keep going back to the Danny Bell and the Tarantis record, the latest one. I've worked with her the last couple years on some music videos, and they're just great guys, great musicians. Again, kind of vibey, psych rock.
Something, anything, everything, take me away from this place.
Danny's just super fun to work with, and it's cool, and I always kind of fall back on those 3 records right now.
Right on. What's your venue of choice here in San Diego?
Venue, when things are rocking and rolling, of course the Casbah,
Yeah.
like the Casbah is kind of the number one. I mean, I just feel like home, like I'm at home there.
Yeah.
I like the Soda Bar a lot. And then I go to a lot of, bigger shows at the Observatory, and, I loved having that spot in North Park. I lived right down the street. I'm in Mission Hills now, I live there, but,
Oh, wow.
when I was living in North Park, I was just a couple blocks from the Observatory, and of course working at 91X, you get perks, you get a lot of free tickets to stuff. So it was just like any night of the week, I was just so pumped to go there and check out a cool show. And it's just like, because it's like a big theater, but it's still fairly intimate, and there's not a bad angle there. And it's just, I like that spot a lot.
Have you ever thought of opening a live music venue?
You know what? To be honest, yeah. I feel like, I know it's, opening any sort of, I already ran a business, but it's already it's always kind of risky and challenging. But
Right.
yeah, opening up a bar / venue, yeah, it's always been kind of in the back of my mind. I feel like I've been to enough venues, and I've seen a lot of what to do and what not to do. And I used to work at the 710 Beach Club back in the day. I was their talent buyer for about 6 months when I was like 23 years old. I had no idea what I was doing. I think the height of that little career was I got a book Authority Zero at the 710 Beach Club, which is pretty badass.
Right.
That was super hard.
I think we played that show. I think we opened.
I think so. I was like just reaching out to all my homies, like, I need to fill this like concert calendar.
Yeah.
But I don't have any sort of concepts or anything or names, but yeah, I think it'd be cool because again, like I think I know what bands need. I know what venue, what fans like. I think I can create something pretty cool, but I don't know. It hasn't really gone beyond that as far as like kind of thinking. But yeah, I think it'd be cool to own a venue at some point.
Yeah, it seems to me, the thought has crossed my mind, but it seems scary.
Yeah. I always kind of thought of like my whole company, like, if everything just like, shit hit the fan or whatever, and I'm like, God, what would I do? I need a job now. Like, I figure I can go to the bars and get like a bar back job. I know enough people that work at bars, right. But then I'm like, well, this pandemic kind of canceled that plan as my backup plan. Yeah. Just knowing like anything and everything can be shut down at some point. So yeah, there's risk in everything. So right. I don't know. But yeah, maybe one day, maybe when I'm a older, more successful person and have some money.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Yeah, nice catching up with you, bro. It's been a weird year. I appreciate your time. We covered 91X. We covered Rowlbertos. Anything that I missed? We're going to do a quick rapid fire segment with you, but...
oh, man.
Okay. Yeah, I know, right? It's scary.
Yeah. I'm like, oh,
better
man.
Be on your toes, bro.
No. Thinking. No, that was great. Yeah, great to catch up with you. And, I've been following you over since I met you, like freaking, I guess, it's been almost 15 years now at this point since we probably met. So, time is flying by. But, no, it's been good. And, yeah, we're still cranking on Rowlbertos. And, cool. I'm still, obviously being involved in 91X. And it's... Yeah, I feel like, I mentioned earlier, like we're just kind of inching our way back to normalcy. And hopefully we're all kind of back to normal and hanging out and rocking out at a show at the Casbah sooner than later.
Totally, man. With Rowlbertos, I do want to shout out, you've been hanging out with Aladdin. Evolving Vegan. You want to touch on that real quick?
Yeah, so one of our projects, kind of a different project, I mentioned we do photography, and so I got asked in 2018 to basically take photos for a cookbook. And the cookbook is the brainchild of Mina Masood, who played Aladdin in the recent remake live-action movie starring Will Smith and Mina.
I saw
and
that.
They asked me to take photos for his book, and basically it's kind of a different cookbook. It's a travel cookbook where a lot of the recipes are from vegan restaurants around the country. So we hit up 10 cities around North America. In over 50 restaurants. And so we did all this traveling in the fall of 2018. And I just took tons of photos of all this food. We did lifestyle photos with Mina as well. And we're also building we were building the brand from scratch. So it wasn't just photos for the book, but it's photos for social media, for the websites, for promo, all this stuff. And we're also producing an Instagram TV show while we were out there. So I was doing photo and video. And yeah, it was just a ton of work, but yeah, it was, and then obviously it was cool when Mina, when the movie came out in 2019, where it was just this wave of stardom for him. Like he basically in 2018, no one really knew who he was. And then 6 months later in 2019, everyone freaking knew who he was.
Gotcha.
And so it was just like the social media just blew up, and a lot of excitement around the book. And then, the book finally just came out of just a few months ago at this point. And it's been a great success. It's cool to see like the tangible, like physical book at my house with all my photos in it. Mina's doing all sorts of press around it, and it's just super cool. And that experience actually led me to being vegetarian. So it's just kind of a nice kind of a life change, and opening my eyes to like the vegan culture and the whole idea of the evolving vegan. It's like we're not preachy at all. It's just evolve, try putting almond milk in your coffee once a week, or having a meatless Monday, or, just kind of inching your way towards plant-based dining, because, it does really affect the world and obviously affects animals and stuff. So that's kind of the idea. It's kind of just a nice entry point into the vegan culture. And I mean, I love all the food. The food is awesome. Like, I eat mainly vegan just kind of by default anyways now. So it's just, I don't know, I feel better, feel lighter. I'm just trying to, I'm getting older, so I need to kind of take care of myself a little bit better these days. And during quarantine, it's easier because I'm not hitting the bars or hitting shows all the time, crushing beers. So it's kind of like, might as well start taking care of myself during these times, and, running more often, exercising, eating better. So, it's kind of, that all kind of stemmed from my experience working with Mina and on this evolving vegan project, and just kind of opening my eyes where you don't have to, crush burgers and tacos all the time, but you can crush vegan burgers and vegan tacos now.
And then you got Rowlbertos, which is just all about Mexi, right?
yeah, for sure.
Evolving Vegan, cool. Yeah, that's rad. That cookbook's available now for all you vegans and non-vegans out there. When I think of our local music scene, I got to shout out Infinite Signal, man. They're vegans, Eli and Kelly. Which have been featured on Loudspeaker, of course. Yeah,
and we meet a lot of artists in our field, and a lot of them, I always, there are a lot of them are eat vegan or vegetarian for whatever reasons and stuff. So I mean, we live in San Diego. It's like such an easy town to eat that way. There's so many available restaurants that cook that way. So it wasn't a hard transition at all. But each their own. But there's a book now to buy, and you can dip your toe in the vegan world if you want.
Yeah, very cool. And what a great opportunity for you to, travel and be a part of something so cool and get paid for it. I think, I've always thought ultimately that's the best career, where you kind of get paid to travel.
Yeah, that is my kind of ultimate kind of, not goal, but that's the type of work that's like, when I was working at Slacker, I was on the road, I was making good money, I was doing what I want to do as far as creating content. And that's how the Evolving Vegan Project was too. And I would just love more opportunities like that. And, I think there could be a possible second book. There's all these other opportunities now. I'm still great friends with Mina. We're still kind of trying to work together on other things. And so, that's kind of the end goal, is to be on the road and just creating cool content.
Right, man. I hope that works out for you.
Thank you.
All right, rapid fire. I know you're in your car there. It can't be the most comfortable scenario.
It's not. I'm under a tree. I'm in the shade. I think I do hear a jackhammer somewhere in the background now. So.
Rapid fire. So, quick answers, quick questions. First concert you attended?
Beach Boys, after a San Diego Padres game, probably like 1993 or something like that.
I remember that. Biggest musical influence? Are you a musician?
I mean, I play guitar. I would say, so as far as me learning to play guitar, I listen to a lot, and I learn a lot of City and Color songs and Father John Misty songs. So that's kind of where I've been kind of learning and playing along with. So I'd say Father John Misty and City and Color.
Nice. Favorite band to come from the 90s?
Favorite band to come from the 90s? Jeez Louise. I mean, I don't know, is Blink-182? Like, would that work? Because that was definitely like where I started listening to a lot of punk rock, growing up in Rancho Penasquitos. Blink-182 is right across the freeway. They started having their big hits around then. So late 90s, Blink-182. Sure, why not?
There you go. Boom. Favorite music-related movie?
Oh man, music-related movie.
We've got we get Walk the Line, we get Walk Hard a lot on here. I think the Schizophonic said Walk Hard.
Favorite? Geez Louise. The only thing that's coming to my mind is like Bohemian Rhapsody. That was pretty cool.
Really good, really well done. I like all the studio scenes in there. Yeah.
that was cool.
Yeah, for sure. Describe yourself in one word.
Anxious.
Anxious? Okay.
Anxious.
Sure.
Yeah. I think people that really know me I'm pretty level-headed, but I'm a little more scatterbrained. Is 2 words. Anxious, scatterbrained. But I can manage it. Yeah.
Cool. Best front man in history.
Matt Bellamy, Muse.
Yes, dude. I saw them at Kaboo, one of the last bands I saw.
I've been seeing them for a long time, and he's just always mind-blowing.
Amazing. What's your favorite thing to do in San Diego other than go out to a show?
Lately it's golf. I've been playing a lot of golf lately. It's kind of one of the first things that opened back up were the golf courses. And I love just being on the golf course, crushing some beers with my dudes. Yep. And it's just so much fun.
Are you good?
I'm all right. I've been playing since I was in middle school. So I have some golfers in my family too. So I think I can play a decent round.
Hitting some pars?
Couple pars, maybe a birdie here and there. Yeah.
Wow. Most memorable concert to date?
I already mentioned Muse, but I always talk about it. Muse 2010 at Coachella was one of the most epic musical experiences of my life.
Yeah.
It was just one of those perfect scenarios with great people. The weekend was just awesome, perfect, and it was just one of those, everyone just jumping up and down, freaking out. There's lasers, confetti, just bouncy eyeballs bouncing around the giant inflatable eyeballs just all around the crowd.
Yep.
Yeah, I've seen so many shows just with my career and just everything, and but that still always kind of stands out, was Muse Coachella 2010.
I agree, man. If you haven't seen the Muse, take that opportunity when they're in town. They're amazing. Their sound is amazing. Their visuals are spectacular. You and I have been to a lot of shows, and Muse does stand out.
Yeah, definitely. And the music has kind of evolved a little bit over the last years, a little more mainstream, a little more poppy, but still, they still crank out some of the classics, even in their newer sets, and it's so fun. So good.
Yeah. Reveal something about yourself that most people wouldn't know. And I think you've talked quite a bit about your background.
I just revealed everything about me, I feel.
You know everything. We know who's officiating your wedding. We know when you got engaged. Yeah.
Oh, man. I don't know, dude.
I have I have a third nipple.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, it's very small. It doesn't produce milk or anything weird like that, but...
I don't know. Maybe I played about 15 years of baseball.
Did you?
Yeah. So baseball was a big part of my life when I was younger. So I played high school and I played adult league, amateur baseball,
cool.
And up till I was about 25. So
Rad.
Baseball is a big part of my life. I still hit the cages.
Cool.
I don't know.
Very
big
cool.
Padres fan, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. Who do you have for the World Series?
Tampa Bay Devil Rays.
Yeah, you think the Rays will take it?
I hope so. The Dodgers are super stacked. I have a buddy I played high school baseball with that is actually he's like a translator on the Rays for all the Spanish speaking players. So it's fun to see him in the post game reports or post game interviews and stuff like that. Manny Navarro, I played with him at Mount Carmel. Wow. And it's just cool to kind of see his path on how he ended up, working in the Rays organization, and now he's, going to the World Series right now. So, so I have a little bit of connection there, but I hate the freaking Dodgers. So
yeah, I'm with you.
Even if it was the Astros, rather than the Rays, I still would have. It's hard to say, but I would have wanted to see the Astros beat the Dodgers. I guess I don't know. I hate the Astros too.
Dodgers are just rivals, of course, but
rivals, and they have about $1 billion on the field too. They just are stacked. So.
They are stacked. Yeah, we'll see. This will release after the World Series, so Rolly's calling the Rays. We'll see.
Rays in 7. We'll do Rays in 7.
Rays in 7. That'd be cool. Yeah, I'm all about a good series, regardless. Obviously, I think our team is the Padres, of course, which I think we'll see a World Series in the next few years. We're pretty stacked.
Yeah, we're stacked, and I think San Diego is now kind of a free agent destination. So I think we've really kind of took another level as far as we're ready to play. We've kind of been in the toilet the last 15 years, and so now we're kind of at the right people in the right places, and I think we're definitely contenders now. And I always say, I've been saying it for 34 years, but next year's our year.
That's sort of San Diego's slogan, isn't it? There's always
next year.
There's always next year.
Same thing with the Chargers, and eventually, actually not for the Chargers because they moved and they can. Yeah, I don't care about the Chargers at all anymore.
Yeah, I agree, and it gives me sort of a new appreciation and love for the Padres. You know,
Yep.
They stuck around. It's like at least they're here in our city.
Yeah, I love the Padres, so I'm excited. It was a great year this year to watch them. You know, super exciting. The whole Slam Diego thing was great, and of course we had a run in the playoffs and it just ended a little short, but you know, next year's our year.
Yeah, always next year. I agree. It was a fun year given 2020 and everything going on. It was kind of cool to see the Padres kind of step it up and have a good season.
For sure.
Yeah. So you're an athlete. Okay, cool. I didn't know that about you, man.
Yeah, not so much these days. You know, I'll go run around the block, but yeah, sure. I mean, growing up for sure, played a lot of sports.
Cool. Advice to local musicians.
Oh man, I think work on your craft. I mean, as far as like songwriting, I feel like artists sometimes a lot of local artists kind of just rush a lot of things.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, but I think there's a lot of potential, but I think just work on your craft as far as writing good songs, and just, you know, that should be the focus always, and then everything else kind of comes with as far as, you know, music videos and photos and marketing and all that stuff, but just write good songs, because like if you have any, or even establish real goals for yourself as far as like, where do you want to be with this band? Is this just to have a garage band to dick around with your buddies and play a couple shows here and there? Or are you actually trying to make a career out of this and, you know, get into the rat race as far as labels and stuff goes and touring? But you're not going to get that without, you know, mediocre songs. You know, just really kind of focus on your craft. And I've had to do the same thing with like my video projects too, where, you know, there's no real reason to rush a project because you're just going to slip up or something's going to, you know, it's not going to be what you want, or it's not gonna be, you know, it's not gonna be as good as it could be. So I tend to like take a step back after a lot of editing and kind of like, where do I really want to take this? Like, what do I want to do with this? And so that translates to music as well, where you just don't rush songs to make songs, you know, like really kind of hone in on your craft as far as, you know, writing and lyrics and musicianship too. So yeah, I think just kind of just work better and work harder on that. I guess it's easier for me to say that because I'm not a musician, but because I just come across a lot of songs where I'm like, this isn't doing anything for me. I've heard this song a million times. You know, it could be better.
Yeah, sure. No, that's good advice. And I would assume we didn't get into it too much, but Rowlbertos is available to shoot local music videos, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. We, most of the music videos we work with or do are with local artists. And we just shot one with Thea, the band. She was it's like her new project, but she was in a band called Social Club for a long time. And then I'm actually shooting a video with Justin Lin. I'm sure you know him.
Of course.
We're shooting a video in the next couple weeks for one of his new singles. But yeah, as far as Rowlbertos goes, yeah, we are available and down to get creative with you.
Cool. For regarding Justin Lin, is that for Demons?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great song.
Yeah. His new single that just came out just like last week, I think.
Yep. Shout out Justin Lin. Yeah. 5-year goal, dude. Last question. Where do you want to be? You got a lot going on with Rowlbertos and 91X. How do you balance that time? How many hours are put into Rowlbertos every week and how many hours are put into 91X?
Yeah, 91X is just kind of like, you know, I'm there for 3 hours on Sundays doing the show. Yeah, that's kind of about it. You know, throughout the week, I might just kind of like, oh, there's that song. I'll, you know, throw it in a file and, you know, and take it with me on Sunday night. But yeah, you know, that's just kind of like 3 hours a week there. And then honestly, as all day, every day for Rowlbertos, you know, I work on the weekends. I work at night. I do a lot of editing at night. I'm, you know, very small team where we're all wearing many hats. So I'm the sales guy, I'm the marketing guy, the PR guy. You know, we're all kind of intermingling with each other as far as our roles. And so, yeah, that's kind of all day, every day there. But I've been getting better as far as like kind of taking breaks and like, okay, like it's 6 o'clock, let's turn the computer off and have dinner and hang out with my fiance and take the dogs on walks, you know, just kind of work-life balance, trying to get better at that. Right. So yeah, and then as far as goals, I mean, I'd like to buy a house, you know, with maybe in the next 5 years. I'm still renting, but you getting married next year. I think that, and then the house thing could be the next big move. I'd like to stay in San Diego as much as I can, as long as I can. So, yeah, I think that's a nice kind of a goal to kind of zero in on.
Sure. Right on, man. I certainly hope that Rowlbertos continues to expand.
Yeah.
You got a lot going on there. You really seem to be putting a lot of effort and time into that.
For sure, yeah, and like like I said, our client base is growing, and the projects are getting bigger. So I like to see us as a company kind of doing more creative stuff, and us being able to be more picky with the type of work we want to do, type of clients we want to work with. Yeah. So me and Rob, my partner, we definitely have goals, and we have goals of who we want to work with and the type of stuff we want to do. And so I don't think we're far off. Honestly, we're not far off. So we're cranking out stuff now. We're able to live and thrive here in San Diego, which is not always easy because it's such an expensive city. But we're making it happen. We're doing it. We've been doing it for 10 years. So it's I don't feel like we're slowing down at all, even with COVID going on. So I think in 5 years we could be in a much cooler spot for sure.
Right on, man. Living the dream, buddy. Working for yourself here in San Diego.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I have to sit back and kind of realize that sometimes because you get so kind of bogged down and just discouraged sometimes. You have bad days, you have good days, whatever, and it's like you have to sit back and be like, look at your life, and you're like, holy crap, like I'm doing pretty well. So I'm grateful for everything and all the opportunities and all the people I've met and all the relationships I have. And so it's good.
Right on, buddy. Hey, thank you so much for your support of the local music scene and all the time you put into that, dude. It means a lot. I know it's appreciated by all the musicians here in San Diego. You, Tim, Lou. We appreciate Loudspeaker, man. Every Sunday night, 7 to 10 p.m. Guacaroli, right? At Guacaroli on Instagram?
Guacaroli, yes. Guaca, Rowley, Rowley.
A big guacamole fan, I would assume, right?
Yeah. And it's also a way for people to figure out how to say my last name, like guacamole, guacaroli.
Right.
You wouldn't say
Rowley?
Guacaroli. Yeah, Guacaroli doesn't ring. Guacaroli. But no, I appreciate you, man, doing this great podcast, for the local scene. We couldn't do our job at Loudspeaker without you guys. So, yeah, just San Diego is one of the best cities in the world, the best city in the world, in my opinion, and has the greatest music scene. And, Loudspeaker is the longest running local music program in the United States. That is a fact. Wow. It's been going on for 36 years now. 36. And I think now we are the only local show in San Diego now.
Is that right?
And so,
wow.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, the local 94.9 is not a thing anymore.
Okay. It was never really a thing, in my opinion. Not to hate on it, but I can just never get any support out of them, dude. It's objectively, it's just never happened. So whatever. Sure,
yeah. So 91X Loudspeaker is where it's at. So any local bands listening out there, best way to get a hold of us is just on social media. Piles at 91x.com is a great email to send all the music to. Of course, you guys contact me and shoot me over your music. I'm always down to talk and chat about like you mentioned, like what could bands be doing right now, or how can they be improving themselves right now. So I'm always open to chat about that. I'm pretty accessible. So hit me up.
Very cool. Yeah, and you guys play local music. You will, if you reach out to them, they will play you, and it's cool. It's cool to hear your music on radio. There's no question about it.
Of course, yeah.
And you guys, you don't have an agenda. Like you've kind of mentioned throughout this episode. You guys all have your own musical tastes, and I don't think it's about your own personal taste on Loudspeaker. You'll play any genre, which is really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, we give everyone a shot. That's what it's there for. It's an opportunity to get heard, and music is an art form. It's someone put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into these songs, and it's like you gotta give them an opportunity to air it out to the masses. Yeah. And Loudspeaker is the perfect place for that.
Andrew Rowley, you're the man. I'll let you get the hell out of your car. Congrats again on the engagement. Tim Piles will be officiating. That's very cool. I look forward to seeing photos of that. And all the very best to you and all your endeavors, dude.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much. And you too. Best of luck to you and your family and all the things you got going on. And man, good chatting.
Absolutely. Hit me up anytime, brother.
For sure, dude. All right, take it easy.
Take care. Bye-bye.
still had something to prove. I guess it shocked her, me and my drug abuse. If I can hear my crippled mind, darling, no, I would only do it for you. I said, listen here, doctor, yes, I'm gonna tell you the truth. No, I'm no monster, but it's 20 minutes in my shoes. You know, if I can hear my crippled mind, doctor, gonna leave it all up to you. If I still had something to lose, so I guess I lost it. What the fuck was I supposed to do? If I can hear my crippled mind, gotta do it for myself and not for you.